Chainsaw Man! Okay, I want to start immediately by just saying... Before you, bitch. Hold on. Check your privilege. I just want to say, real quickly...
Bitch!
I love this chapter. It was just the perfect everything. I can see this chapter... Kind of like if you watch Hunter x Hunter 2011, there's that montage where Corollo's just like up there, like, you know, doing hand motions and like conducting the orchestra of death as there's like montages of just like thousands of civilians being killed. You feel me, right? So I can see in the anime, guarantee you right now, this would just be like a scene with her just like going up to someone like, say this name, and then like the hand motions as like this beautiful orchestral music's playing. I could just see it. It gave me chills, to be completely honest with you.
No, we're not going orchestral. We're going death metal. Okay?
No, this isn't. Death metal is for when Denji fights. No, for real, because like if you want to go into like character themes, right? I guarantee you when Denji fights, you'll get some metal shit. But I bet you when Makima fights, we'll have some softer. It'll be like soft but sinister. You know what I'm saying?
When Puke Girl pukes into Denji's mouth, we'll have some country music there.
Don't fucking blaspheme. But thoughts on...
Okay, so...
I love her power. I fucking love it. Yes, we need explanations on how it works. Because,
there's something that baffles me that kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't make sense here. That we have 30 random fucking death row inmates here.
I love it.
Being used as sacrifices.
Yeah.
But because she's so high up, her fucking subordinates don't get to know what kind of devil she's contracted with.
No, it's not because she's... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I thought you meant physically because they rented a building that was tall. Never mind. Continue.
No, because they blindfolded them.
Yeah.
But that makes me wonder, can these people just fucking surmise what the devil they've contracted with is based on how the fucking power works? Are the devils that obvious in their power system? Like,
I think
it's something
that I mean, I'm gonna guess that either one of two things is the case here. One is that maybe the appearance is very connected to the power, or two, something to do with like, you know, I mean, if you're watching her say, you know, like, you know, do this, say this, then they fall over or whatever. You know what it probably is? Because, like, I'm trying to think. They can probably hear her say the names. And, of course, they see the people dying. The only thing that she'd be blocking their vision of is her hand movements, right? So maybe it's the hand movements she wants to keep secret.
That could be. Because that's something that really needs...
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of detail.
Like,
there was a lot
maybe
of...
we'll get, like, a backstory.
There was a lot of detail put into, like, the hand movements. They were very intricate, and there was a lot of pages showing them. So
it's like early Naruto with the fucking ninja hand symbols kind of shit.
Yeah. Nostalgia. I like to think that those are, like, really important, right?
And here I am drinking out of a fucking Naruto glass.
Bro, that makes me want to go back and reread early Naruto. Good times. But, so, yeah, I mean, like... So... this is one of those things where it makes me, like, wish that every series was written by Togashi, because if it was Togashi, you would have had your, like, 12 pages of just text describing every facet of this power.
Yeah, but that would turn most shonen readers off. I mean, you still get those
little baby back bitches. Yes,
we still get that argument today. I don't want to read text. I don't want to read a novel.
Where do you think I read comics? I don't like reading normally because I'm... Okay, I was gonna go dark with it. My mom dropped me on the head or something.
We made a video on dark fucking humor, bitch.
Yeah, but no, not the one I was thinking of. I don't like dark humor that
thought process was right there.
I don't like dark humor that belittles people for something that they can't control. That's all.
I know, but goddamn, just
they're stupid.
Put on your big.
They're dum-dums. Anyway, but so we see basically, and what's interesting too is, you know, one thing I gotta say is they're trying to carry Denji, right? None of them are using the convenient head handle.
Well, it comes down to how strong are these thugs, and
there's a convenient handle.
Well, maybe they can't lift a 200-pound torso. We don't really know how big.
That's fair, but no one is touching the handle. This is the most important thing.
It still is.
There's
dead
literally a scene where he's like, "Where should I grab him at?" There's a fucking.
I know. They're stupid. They're fucking. They're the fucking crooks you beat up in an Arkham game. Okay.
Arkham game. So,
but
go ahead.
Fucking Christ, it's just dead weight, really. So
True.
the handle women is like.
Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever tried to carry your drunk friend up a flight of stairs? It sucks.
I feel like you're usually the drunk friend.
I don't pass out, bitch.
Oh yeah, except until now, because apparently your fucking kidney decided to give up.
My liver.
Fuck!
My poor liver.
Sorry. What
It's the hardest working liver in the galaxy, Morty.
What do kidneys do?
That's what causes me to piss a lot when I drink.
So, a couple things I want to point out. So there's specifically, she asks for two things. Obviously, people that are already on death row or whatever. Actually, not even confirmed death row, just life sentence, which is interesting, which means that's actually kind of more morally fucked up because they could have at least lived their life out in prison. But they're not, it doesn't specify death row in this translation.
True.
So, I mean, I guess just life sentence. But then the other thing, here's what I want to know about. She says a shrine at a high elevation. Okay? So, shrine, I'm going to guess, has something to do with amplifying the demon's power. Because as we know from this series, a demon's power has a lot to do with how people think of that demon, right?
Right.
So, just like anything, shrines are kind of like spiritual amplification points. That's why people go to shrines to pray. People go to shrines to, you know, do religious shit, yada yada. So I imagine that the shrine has something to do with amplifying the power, maybe the range at which she can explode these people's bodies. Now, the high altitude thing, though, that's what I'm trying to figure out where that comes into play, because that's oddly specific, which makes me think it has something to do with her power.
Yeah, definitely. It has to do something with the power.
Any thoughts on that?
It's a bizarre power to begin with. Like, you're using human sacrifices to kill another human. You're fucking using a temple, you know, a shrine. You're using religious.
Let's just say right now, I'm just gonna point out, I don't believe for a second that this is her only power. She probably has contracts with a bunch of demons.
Oh, for God's sakes.
So yeah, don't worry if you're like, oh, it's not very practical in battle. Nah, this is like her long range power. And I like how casual she is about it too. Like, oh fuck, they're probably targeting Denji. Let me just. You know what's interesting though? Did you notice that she knew all these people's names?
Yeah, that's the other bizarre part.
So like,
that's
maybe these are like people that she always expected. Like, oh, it's them. They finally made their move. And what I like too a lot is that like the little sweatshirt fucking girl. She's like, confirm, is Makima dead? They purposefully tried to kill Makima before fucking with Denji. Why? Because they know this power. The second she sees this, she's like, oh, that's Makima. You can tell, right?
Right.
So this is a well-known thing. Like, she knows immediately that's Makima. And I like that. I mean, they were planning, like, it was a good plan. I mean, they were like, if we kill her first, then we don't have to deal with her fucking long-range body implosion.
Yeah. Confirmed imploded. Fucking, there's just, well, I'm trying to surmise right now is like fucking with the fucking high elevation. Is it so she has a clear view of where she's at? Is it like, I don't know.
I mean, it maybe has something to do with like, think of it like when you're holding up your phone to the sky to get better reception.
Yeah,
it could have something to do with like her ability to do this long range shit. Maybe. I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. If it's like a long range thing, maybe that helps the demon that she contracts with to go out and do these things long range. You know.
And with the knowing of names, how long has she been gathering intelligence on these people? How long has she fucking been planning to basically implode these motherfuckers?
Yeah, that's kind of awesome. Well, I mean, we know they work for the Gun Devil, is what they said. So, I mean, maybe she just has like a list of local people that work for the Gun Devil.
Yeah, like they're generic Japanese names, you know.
To you, racist.
Well,
David Buchanan. What more generic of a name than David Buchanan?
Like you had Inoue. I'm like, oh, when you got Orihime's parents here, just
hold on. But yeah, so Hold on, I gotta get my charger. But so did she explode Denji too?
I don't think so.
Because sometimes the art
Maybe?
trips me out here. No, because okay, so go to page.
Let me pull back up.
Go to page 7 real quick. Am I dumb? I'm probably dumb. No, because that is his beanie. Then where the fuck? Okay, so where is Denji in page 7? I can't. Oh wait, no, I see it now. He's based. Okay, see that threw me off. God, the art, man. Like sometimes it's good, but see, so go from page 6 to page 7. You can maybe understand why I thought Denji exploded at first.
Oh my god.
You see what I'm saying? I didn't see him in the corner there, but he's like leaning over that guy's like lap on the right. You see what I'm saying? So at first I thought it was going to be like a teleportation thing, kind of like My Hero Academia, where they like puke up ink and then it envelops them. But no, she's straight up just pulling like a fucking Nanika from Hunter x Hunter's last arc.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I love the art, but you're right, it can be just fucking... Because I had to actually zoom in to see him there, but fucking Christ.
I love this series, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but I don't know how I feel about the art of it. Like sometimes it's great, and it's not even like a thing where it's like, it's not pretty enough. It's not that at all. To me, it's purely, I have trouble telling what's happening sometimes because of the art. I feel like I don't know, is that just me? Do you feel that at all?
I feel it a bit. I felt a bit, and post the forest arc of Promised Neverland, like the art started to decline, really because of rushing it out. So you would have trouble following, like even in like the Lewis battle, you would have trouble following it.
Like I just feel like a moron when I read this series because I'm always like, okay, who is who now? And I'm probably gonna get a lot of bullshit.
You need a very high IQ to read it, Red.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for Rick and Morty to return to see what bullshit the fucking fandom comes out with.
Well, anyway, though, I do like that. I like how this, like, mostly just, I think it's a cool power. I love the fucking scene where she's just standing there with all the inmates, slowly, calmly, like, say this name, does the hand symbol, boom, death. Like, it's just fucking cool, honestly. And
does it just stop their? I want to know the ethics of this fucking power.
You mean the inmates?
Yeah, I want to know the ethics of the power for the sacrifice. Because they just calmly accepted their fucking fate. They're not trying to fight. They're not trying to do anything. They're just like, whatever.
I would be curious because, I mean, that puts a lot into question, like, how much authority does she have to just be like, oh, yes, it's Makima. Give me 30 of your prisoners now. Like, no questions asked.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, she's a state devil hunter, so maybe they come with, like, a hell of a lot of authority.
Yeah, like, there's a lot that needs to be explained after this chapter. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's kind of a reoccurring thing with this series, right? Like, we've seen a lot of cool reveals. We need a chapter to just explain everything we saw. Not everything in the sense, like, I get it now. I understand that these assassins are from the Gun Devil. I understand that this is her power. I understand yada, yada, yada. But what I want to know is a semi-detailed explanation on how her contract works. And basically where we go from here, because it is true,
or at least
that, like,
this contract, because like you said, she could probably, and more than likely has more than one contract. But there's, the authority of the fucking these demon hunters, these devil hunters. I want to know, like, fucking how much pull they have. Like, are they a military branch of the fucking government? Are they like private sector, but still owned by the government? Kind of like we have some, like, fucking special forces here that nobody really knows about, kind of shit. Like, how much power do they fucking have? Yeah,
that would be good to know, the government structure. And also, just looking through this, like, I think the best thing I can say about this series is the author clearly has an appreciation for spectacle. It's almost refreshing, right? Because it's like, every chapter I read with this series, I get the vibe that he's not all about, like, everything having to make sense, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Almost in the same way that Fooly Cooley does it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, the art of not having to think about it too hard. Like this chapter, like what we just saw there, it was a spectacle. It was cool to watch. It doesn't necessarily have to have a huge explanation. It'd be nice, but
That-
at the same time,
you
what
bring
I
up
found
Fooly
myself
there.
thinking as I was reading through this was just, this is fucking cool. I love watching this, and it was entertaining. So to me, I mean, as long as the series, like, this series almost fits in a different slot for me of manga. Like, I don't expect the same things that I expect out of, like, One Piece and My Hero and Hunter x Hunter. I just expect a good goddamn time.
Oh, yeah,
when I read
definitely.
this series. So, I mean, yes, I'd like an explanation, but I wouldn't be super mad if it wasn't, like, really detailed. Because at the end of the day, the explanation could be as simple as, oh, yeah, it's just a demon that makes, like, life contracts or whatever. So, I mean, it wouldn't bother me too badly if we don't get too much of a explanation. Because, again, I think we need to fall back and remember that at the end of the day, this manga is about the spectacle, I think, more than anything else.
Definitely. You bring up Fooly Cooley there, and, like, you know, the first time I watched Fooly Cooley, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, there's no explanation. And then I dove back into it, you know, when I was a little bit older. I'm like, oh, right, I'm not supposed to understand. Then you show me that fucking video.
The Mother's
Like,
Basement?
that's
Was it Mother's Basement? Yeah,
yeah.
it was one of the anime YouTubers, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Mother's Basement that was just breaking it down. I mean, we could be wrong there, but, like you said, anime YouTuber was just breaking down, like, it's a shut off your mind, kind of enjoy the spectacle kind of series.
Basically, you know, I find that, like, there's, like, this wave of progression of your tastes when you get into anything, right? So, like, when you're a kid, you start off with the, you know, low stand. You know, nothing has to make sense. It just needs to be cool and have explosions. So you watch your DBZs, you watch your, you know, old school Saturday morning cartoons. It's whatever, because who cares? I just want to see explosions and shit. And then as you get older, you kind of crave for more deep intellectual, and I say that in an unironic way, you know, intellectual, like, really deep characters, deep motives, all that shit, right? And then you find that as you're getting into, like, your mid-20s, at least for me, you still like that deep shit, but you kind of want to also have some just, like, let's go back for nostalgia's sake to just the crazy explosions and gore, you know? And that's what I see Chainsaw Man as, and I have to remind myself of that occasionally, because there are times where I'm reading this series, what's happening? The art's confusing me. Oh my god, what's happening? But then I just gotta be like, honestly, when I read this series, it's just fun, and I'm just here to comment on the fun. Yes, I'm still going to hold it accountable. I'm still going to say I'd like this to happen, but I do judge it on a different level, I feel, because it is just kind of, it seems to take itself less seriously. Because when you start a new series, you got to kind of get a feel for how seriously it takes itself, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like, a perfect example, and this is a series we're going to be doing a video on at some point, and, like, a couple chapters, actually. Like, I'm having that same, like, where the fuck am I at kind of moment with Samurai 8 right now. Because you know Kishimoto can fucking make a good story, but it's kind of, at least still right now, it's still kind of all over the place. I'm just like, where is he trying to direct this series right now? Has he kind of fallen out of, like, being able to structure shit good?
I think the strength...
and then I flip...
Go ahead.
I flipped from that to this morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I know I don't need to expect much from Chainsaw Man, you know, and just got shut off my brain because I was trying to analyze Samurai 8, you know, because we're doing a more long-form video on it. I'm trying to shut that part of my brain off originally. I think that's why originally when I fucking sent you that panel, you know, like, yeah, I'm reading it right now, that kind of thing, you know, like, fucking, I was still trying to be like, I'm not understanding everything. I'm like, wait, when I went back and read it before we fucking filmed, you know, like, that's right, you just gotta shut your fucking mind off and...
Yeah, that was kind of the vibe. Yeah, I'm glad you say that, because it is true. Like, you can kind of start to read these manga with almost like a very Hunter x Hunter mentality of, like, but how's the power work? If I don't know how it works, it bothers me. To me, and I mean this very sincerely, to me, in a story, it's a lot less about knowing how the power works and a lot more about knowing how the power system works. So, for example, right, I don't need to know how every individual piece of Nen works, but I love that Togashi explained the Nen system so well, because since he did that, every single power that shows up, I can basically headcanon my own version of how that power works because the rules are so well explained. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, honestly, we know about the demon contract shit, and if we get a bit more onto that, then basically, at that point, you can just... You know, you don't need that much explanation because, again, I wouldn't mind some explanation, but I don't feel like it's super necessary or it'll be like a fucking problem. What have you sent me? What have you just sent me?
So, like, I'm seeing a lot of inspiration, at least in some forms coming from what I just sent you.
Okay.
And it's a very,
Tell
very,
the
very
audience about what you sent me.
It's a very, very obscure manga / anime
Toko?
that you really, really have a hell of a hard time finding a copy of this on DVD. I'm still trying to fucking track it down at this point. But this was something that I watched. Do you remember an era when Sci-Fi had anime on its fucking, like, the Sci-Fi channel?
And they would always play, like, really weird, like, you've never heard of it kind of anime, right?
Yep. So that was my first dive into Toko. That was my first dive into Monster. That was my first dive into Sinning, really. At least on the anime side of things. And Toko's one of those fucking series where, like, you shut off your mind kind of thing, but it had that demon, devil bullshit theme to it. And reading a lot of this chapter specifically, I'm like, we have that bullshit overpowered kind of. It almost seems like the ending of the series to me. Like,
well, it's like a fairy law type thing from Fairy Tale, but like, you know, not as cringy. Because again, a lot of it is how seriously the series itself takes itself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because here I have to end off this video. I have a comment and then a question for you to leave it off to you for the final comment. The comment being, you know that series, Fate, like I've talked about Fate a lot before, like the Fate Stay, whatever the fuck, those anime. I don't remember which one I watched, but it was the one with the fucking.
I want to say
the one that everyone says is good, like the red big guy with the chariot and the fucking, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Lancelot, all that shit. The one that has an abridged series by Purple Eyes. What the fuck? Yeah, that one. So
the atrocious dub for one.
I hated it. Because here's the thing, like, I don't see how people like that. But here's why I hated it, though. Its power system, it didn't have a concrete power system. And maybe this is just a me thing. I like to know where people's powers come from. And I want them to have a consistent set of rules. Because here's the thing. In that story, you had one guy whose power was he had just like a blob. Like, he rode around on this amorphous blob that sucked people up. Never explained what it was, how it worked, where he got that power, when he got that power, how he trains with the power, yada yada yada. Never explained, right? And then everyone just has this random other powers that come out of nowhere, make no sense, have no consistent rules. You know what it reminded me of? Final arc of Bleach.
As for Fate,
hold on. You know what it reminded me of? The final arc of Bleach. And what was the problem with the final arc of Bleach? All the Quincy's had random bullshit powers. You had the well-established powers, and with the Quincy's had well-established powers. Ronsen, the one like the fucking puppet string thing, the arrows, the Hirangaku, blah blah blah, all the fucking Quincy shit, well-established. Then he adds
the little tools even had their own fucking rules.
Yeah, then he adds random fanfic powers, right? So where I'm going, and you'll have your chance to make a comment. I just need to let this flow of consciousness go, otherwise I'll forget it. So please. So, that was an example. Fate is like, I couldn't fucking handle that series because the powers were just out of nowhere and awful to me. And there was no, because if you don't have a clear set of rules when you have a fighting series, it's like playing chess with someone that changes the rules every move. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's a lot more fun when everyone's power comes from the same base. So it's like, okay, in Dragon Ball Z, everyone's fighting with Ki, and so when it's a battle of Ki. In Hunter x Hunter, everyone's fighting with Nen. It's a battle of Nen, etc. So that goes back to my main point of, you have a power system. Mm-hmm. I love it. But beyond that, I don't need to know too much about other than the basics. So the contract system, I think it works. I think we need to delve more into the contract system and the specific rules. I want to see the process of how they make a contract. That's what I want to see. Like, I want to see the formation of a contract, kind of like how we saw the formation of a summoning contract in Naruto.
Yeah, well, we kind of saw a little bit of the formation of a contract in the first chapter with Poochie and fucking Denji.
But that, now here's the question though. Remind me what makes that different with because he became a devil man where they're like combined. What's the different, like, is that just because he offered his body to him?
Exactly. That's the clarification we need. So, like, we saw, you know, the offering of an eye, you know, well, the explanation of the offering of an eye for the contract for the one.
In the hotel, right?
And we saw, like, I give you, you know, the rest of my body to save, you know, everybody kind of shit. So we definitely need to know the contract structure, how many contracts can be made, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And I assume not all demons work the same way in the sense that, like, it's not all going to be body parts like some fucking Dead Man Wonderland shit. Like, I imagine some of them might, might have you sacrifice more obscure things. Like, like, I could see one, like, just coming off the top of my head right now, like, you'll sacrifice your ability to feel happiness for 2 days, and you'll only be able to feel this emotion. Like, I could see them going down, like, a more metaphysical route with it.
Yep. As for Fate, yeah, it's all over the place because of the fucking timeline and the parallel timelines. Because
I just couldn't stand all the fucking different rules, like the powers. It literally was just like it's like they went to Power Listings wiki, pushed random, like this person gets this power.
Like, honestly, like when. And this goes way back in the channel history, like when Chris was bringing up like messianic plane manipulation and shit like that. Like, you just click fucking random and like, this sounds cool.
That's
and
the
edgy.
only reason I know about the Power Listings wiki, because of that fucking original video. So question for you, David, and this is what I'll end off this on, right? So we've had a long conversation about like just being able to turn off your brain and enjoy it. So my final question to you is, generally, did you enjoy this chapter?
I love this chapter because of how fucking batshit insane it was. Like, you have the very obvious, like, we're trading soul for soul, essentially. I mean, you had all the fucking, the bizarre, like, explosions. Think how that feels to the fucking random public that's watching a body just implode. Like, the mental state of Japan or wherever they're at. Well, I mean, she's like, I'm going back to Tokyo.
Remember,
so
this is a norm for them. Like they live in a world where the gun devil just shows up and kills like 250,000 people in like 11 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just think even for like kids that were on the street, like watching a body implode, the mental state of that. You can go into like a psychopath-esque fucking like mentality of like, well, this is fucking bizarre. Think of how if like we had like remember China's trying to do like the fucking thing with like everybody's like personality and just judge them on that kind of thing.
Well, they rank people like kind of like the Black Mirror episode. Nosedive.
Yep. So think how that would affect like the state here. Like, that's the kind of shit that I love thinking about with Chainsaw Man, because it's so fucking random and bizarre. Like, try and drop it in other series. Like, if you have the crime coefficient fucking psychopaths, you had, like the Black Mirror-esque ranking system, shit like that, empower it to the devil hunters here. How would they appear to society from that kind of standpoint? Because in their own eyes, they're doing good. In the eyes of the public, they're protecting them. But to another governing facility, they fucking are corrupt as hell because they're just going around killing things and people.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I gotta imagine that there would be some sort of like active. If this was well known that they could just walk into a prison and take like 30 people to sacrifice. Like, yeah, I mean, they're clearly playing. Like, Makima specifically has clearly lost all humanity when it comes to human life.
Exactly.
Like,
so
she kills without a fucking change in her facial expression, which, again, I cannot wait for her backstory.
Exactly. Like, that's the kind of shit I want from the series now. I want backstory on Makima.
More character stuff, because every time this series goes into character stuff, I love it.
I want to know the contract shit. I want to know so much about, like, the devil hunters themselves at this point, because they have pull that is unseen, really.
It looks like they're above, like, even normal police, which I guess makes sense, because, again, like, if these, like, supernatural-ass threats exist in the world and, like, they're the only ones that are, like, taking care of it on a consistent level, I suppose they would have a lot of power in society.
And this is the moment in the video when the rum is starting to hit David.
Hey, no, that's fine. Here, by the way, if you're curious what this will look like animated, just take a look at this GIF from Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, you're sending me the Corolla.
No, not Corolla. Literally the exact same thing.
Oh, God. No. I hate that GIF.
Even down to the face squishing, bro. Like, it's the same fucking thing. You saw it.
I saw it, and I removed it from my message history.
The things you find squeamish are so weird.
Copies of that fucking thing. There were 3 copies of that fucking thing when I moved back into this old apartment on my laptop, and I deleted every single one of them.
Probably from videos I edited and shit.
Yes.
That's funny. Yeah,
I
no,
hate that.
but no,
Like,
I think it's pretty cool.
Eyeball for Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty cool that we're going down this route. As a Hunter x Hunter fan, I saw that and I was like, it's not a good. Yes, but yeah, I mean, I guess for me,
that was the first thing that went through my head.
For me, that's peace. You got final thoughts for you? Predictions?
Final thoughts and predictions. The next chapter hopefully explains a little bit of her fucking power system here. Yeah. Hopefully we get a little bit of backstory on how the fuck they're able to just waltz. Because of random fuck, even Red, I challenge you to find me an instance in any other manga or any history in the fucking government that you could just go randomly into a prison and be like, I need 30 sacrifices.
That's probably existed in all of human history. I could probably find something.
In all of human history, you probably could find something, but like in civilized history.
I mean, it wouldn't be easy, but you'd have to be. I mean, who's to say what's happened in the private of our government? But also, another thing about that is what fucking reasoning in our world would there be for 30 sacrifices?
True, but
that's because I guarantee you, if our government needed 30 goddamn sacrifices, they'd find them.
Well, the American government, fuck yeah, they find them.
Yeah, they'd get them.
They'd get them and they'd wipe their existence from the books. But, you know...
They'd probably get them from Guantanamo Bay, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, you just take some random POWs and be like, yeah, they don't exist on the books anyway. That went really dark. But you feel me here, though, right? Like,
no, it's definitely extra, and to emphasize how fucking easy it was for them, it happened off screen. So I get the sense that they just kind of strolled in casually to a prison, and we're like, we need 30 people that and they don't even got to be on death row, just life sentence, just people that aren't expected to see their families ever again.
30 random people. It doesn't matter who they are, if they have kids.
And also don't ask why they won't be returning. And don't ask why I'm also carrying this shovel. Don't ask about those things.
Don't ask questions.
Don't ask why I have an industrial-sized thing of hand sanitizer.
Well, they didn't bleed, so that's the other thing I want to know. Like, how does her power work on that end?
No, you shit yourself when you die, friend. Think about that. Every single time she does that, they're shitting themselves.
That's true.
So, like, I can just need a bridge now or this epic moment, and they just die.
Just voids are
the lowest form of humor. Fart humor. Can we end this fucking video? It's 35 minutes.
But you feel me on that. So that's what I want from the next chapter. That's my predictions. That's what I want. And fucking peace. Let's film that goddamn
Eva David, remember when we were like, there's just not enough to talk about at Chainsaw Man? Do you?
Yeah, last chapter.
Yeah. Okay, peace.